Hi, it's a dose of me. It's Tracy, and this is my channel where I just basically talk about life lessons that I've learned or that someone has shared with me. Just trying to spread a little encouragement or help, and just having some fun getting out on YouTube, stepping out of my comfort zone, and creating a channel. So today, I tried to make this video yesterday, and I kind of ran out of time, and I didn't really like the way it sounded. So I thought I would try again today. I'm on my lunch hour at work, but I felt compelled to go ahead and try to get it done because it's going to be a busy evening, grandkids coming over, family coming over, and so it's just going to be a busy evening and probably a busy weekend. I don't know when I'll get another video up. I hope this is coming across okay. I'm in my car. I know it's bright outside. Just finally sunshine, not so many clouds. So anyway, I wanted to share with you something that I've been dealing with here recently. We have two grandkids that we get to see quite often, a lot. Our other grandchildren we do not get to see as often. And one of them is my bonus daughter, her son, and one is my granddaughter, which is my biological granddaughter, my daughter's daughter. And you know, people always said being a grandparent is the most wonderful thing. You can't describe how you feel, the love, and that's all true. I cannot explain how you feel as a grandparent, and the love you have, and the love you have for your children, and watching them become parents. And this is with my bonus daughter as well as my biological daughter. I'm so thankful that my bonus daughter, we're in a better place and a better relationship than in past years, and that's a whole nother story, a whole nother video, maybe 2 or 3. And so it's just been wonderful with both of them. The thing is, in being a grandmother now, and I go by Mimi, I didn't realize that it would bring up things from my past, from my childhood, or other things growing up. I didn't have a very happy childhood. That again is another video or many videos in regards to my childhood. There's my childhood, and my contains alcoholism from a stepfather I had, abuse, my mother being in an abusive, being abused. I was abused. My sister was abused. All of us pretty much in different ways, though. And and then other things happened to me, basically because that abuse and that the way I grew up shaped my personality and my coping skills. And so with those things, then things that happened to me in my early adult life just kind of added to the trauma. And so I've dealt with a lot of trauma, specifically in my childhood. And one of those things is that because of what I dealt with and what I went through and how it was handled, I guess you would say, I built up a lot of anger and a lot of resentments for certain people. One of those being my mother. Now, my mother and I have a really good relationship now, and I'm really thankful for that. I've done a lot of therapy and group work, and went to Al-Anon, and there's a lot of different techniques. I've read books, a lot of different things, my church, a lot of different things that I've done throughout my life to work through these past traumas and deal with them, and talk to people, confront people if need be, if I could, to basically take an inventory, apologize, and take responsibility if I needed to. Because, you know, as I grew up, those coping skills didn't work as an adult as they did as a child. And so sometimes I have been known to hurt people because I don't know how to handle things that happen when I was an adult. So, you know, it's a big thing. It always has been, and a lot of it, you know, some of it always will be. But I also worked on and learned how to let go of a lot of things, to forgive. One of the, I guess, biggest things I try to remind myself is to accept the apology that I will never get. And so the resentments that have come back, I guess not really come back, I don't hold them, it's just reminding me of things, is my mom didn't, and to some degree she still doesn't, have a lot of maternal, I don't know, instincts, grandmotherly instincts. She's not a very touchy-feely person. She's not a very hands-on person. She, now I'm sure, I know she came over at my house some and helped when I had my kids and all of that. I just don't remember, and of course we didn't have social media and all that when I was having my children, but I just don't remember a lot of interaction, a lot of encouragement, advice, just being involved. She wasn't, in my opinion, very involved. Now I know my memory could be not very good on certain things, because when you suffer from depression and you experience trauma, then your memory is not always accurate or the best, and sometimes you remember things in the way you perceive them, and from only your point of view when you're dealing with trauma. So, you know, this is just my opinion, my point of view. I'm not a doctor. I'm not certified in anything. I'm not a therapist. My channel is just my experiences, my opinion, my feelings. You, of course, if you're experiencing any of the same things, I encourage you to research or reach out to people that you can depend on for help or resources. So my mom wasn't the type of grandmother to have the kids over all the time and have sleepovers and take them on trips or take them places. That just didn't happen. They did go over there, of course. At one point I got, I don't know, told that the only time I contacted my mother was when I needed a babysitter. To some degree that may have been true, only because when I was younger and going through living with the anger and resentments and the aftermath of my childhood, I could go weeks without talking to my mother and it wouldn't bother me in the least. But you know, it goes both ways. The phone goes both ways. Encouragement goes both ways. Communication goes both ways. Relationships go both ways. And it takes effort. And so, but, you know, I had a childhood, even though the bad parts, the good parts were I did go to my grandparents a lot. I lived with them at different times. Maybe that's the bonus part in my memory. We went on trips. They took me on trips. Even without my parents, we went on trips. And, sorry, somebody racing through our parking lot. And things like that. So I have good memories of things with my grandparents. My grandfather was more like my father than anybody. I was very close to my grandparents. And so I miss that my children didn't, that they didn't have that. I don't feel that they have that really, really close connection with my mother. And so I feel bad that they miss out on that. They don't have that. It's different for them now that they're adults. They are, having a better relationship with her, but it's not the same. So when I interact with my grandchildren, and I just feel so much joy and happiness and love, and I just don't understand where my mother couldn't or didn't do this, because I see pictures of my grandkids, and I see them, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see my grandkids again. I can't wait to hold them or snuggle them, babysit them, do whatever with them. I remember telling my friend when my daughter had her baby and she was only home from the hospital a few days, that I never thought it could feel so wonderful doing dishes and laundry for somebody else. I mean, it's just the little things that bring so much joy and love, and it feels so good. And I just feel bad that it brings back those bad feelings that my kids didn't get that. I even feel bad, but I really feel bad for my mom too. What was it, or what is it that, it's just not in her to be that super maternal and grandmotherly type of person. And don't get me wrong, my mother is a great person. It's just, it's her person. She's her own person. And I'm in that relationship, that marriage where I had the as I call him, the evil stepdad when I was growing up. My mom was the typical battered wife, abused wife. And so I know that had a lot to do with it too. And so I also deal with the fact that I try to remind myself when I start feeling things like this, that she did the best that she could at that time with what she knew. Just like me, I've done the best I can throughout my life with what I know due to what I've been through. So it's just something that I'm dealing with, and I wanted to get off my chest. I think about the analogy, or I don't know if analogy is the right word, but the concept, the illustration of your past, your traumas, your history, any good and bad, as if, baggage. People say you have baggage. You have all these things, and you pack them in your bags, and you stuff them down, and you keep them there, and you carry them. It could be imagine backpacks or anything, and how heavy that can be on you and weigh you down. And at some point in your life, you have to take responsibility for yourself, and you also need to forgive others, because it's really not about them, it's about you. It's about letting go and feeling better and being able to have more joy in your life. And so you have to unpack those bags. You have to unpack those things that are weighing you down, or they're heavy, that are hurtful and unpleasant, and unpack them. Deal with them as you unpack them as best you can. Maybe you need to address it with someone. Maybe you need to get therapy. Maybe you need to confront the person that hurt you or disappointed you. Maybe you need to apologize to somebody, or make amends. So it could be a lot of different things that could be in your bags, in your backpacks, in your baggage. And so you need to take those out, and don't keep carrying them around, because it just keeps weighing you down, and you can't live your full life carrying those bags around with you all the time. And so I guess what I wanted to do in talking about this, hopefully, and getting it off my chest, is I don't repack this resentment, these bad feelings, this unhappiness, these bad memories, I guess you could say, unhappy memories. I don't want to repack those in my bags and start carrying those around with me again. And so hopefully by talking about it, sharing it with you, maybe touching somebody, maybe somebody will leave a comment about it, share their story or anything, tell me how you deal with it. I'm hoping that I'll feel better after getting it off my chest and just putting it out there into the universe, as some people say. So I'm gonna have to get back into work, eat my sandwich, and finish this busy Friday. It's always busy. It's my busy season. So, and then get off to a good weekend with family, brother-in-law in town, and doing stuff with family. So Thank you for letting me share, and thank you for watching. And remember to don't carry those bags that are so heavy. Unpack them and let it go, and take care of yourself. Thanks.